Thank you. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very excited to share my thought with you. And I would like to, of course, I would like to thank Professor Lemish and Peter and Laura and everybody else who having me as a guest with a lot of warmth, and thank you very much. Okay, and second, as you can see, I'm not from America. I didn't do my PhD in the state. I'm from Israel, so bear with my English and with my accent. Okay, I would like to present the basic of this book, which called America in Jerusalem, as you can see it. And it may seem presumptuous to talk about globalization or to explore here theory about globalization here in this place. Yet I think that Eli Avraham, my colleague, and I would like to present something that will be a bit new to this discussion. So I'm just I'm not going into theory. So believe me, I know something about globalization theory, about Americanization theory, and I'm not going to talk about it and this debate about theories and so on and so forth. As you can see, Israel also have McDonald's. And I have to say that Starbucks didn't succeed in Israel because they didn't want to hear that Israel likes very, very strong coffee, and they didn't want to change it. So this one that I can see Starbucks in every place in America. I'm living in New Washington. It's more, and I have to say that I see every day many more shops of Starbucks than McDonald's. So you have to say something. It's something to say about Americans who became coffee drinking. So I just want to say something about national identity, because our main interest is to see the relation between globalization and national identity. And we follow the step of Billig, which wrote about banal nationalism. And they are looking at the presentation of national identity in everyday life. Usually when we are talking about theories regarding national identity, we are looking at research done about formal culture or high culture, and not the everyday culture, the day-to-day, because we are not aware that we are so bonded to this everyday, our everyday national identity. So we are following Billig, his idea about a national identity, that we can find it in the products and text of every day. Why advertising? Okay, why advertisement? Because it's the most fundamental text of everyday life in every given society. So it is very interesting to look at these texts and to reveal these layers that we are all the time associated with something else than the belief that we know that advertisement never, apart from our beliefs and our values, And so we decided to look at advertisements. We are focusing on Israel during the 90s and the beginning of the 21st century. Why? Because the changes that the Israeli society went through the 90s. And we have to say that if we are looking at, usually when we are trying to analyze a society, we are looking at two parts of the society. On one hand, we are looking at its social political reality. And on the other hand, we are looking at its symbolic reality. So I have to say that Israel during the 90s went through major changes in both socio-political reality, which became more globalized and became more neoliberal oriented in terms of economics. And on the other hand, the symbolic reality changes, it still changes, but it changed dramatically because it became a commercial environment that was not before. So this landscape change, suddenly we have cable TV and commercial TV and 15 radio channels, and advertisement became very, very important in this symbolic reality environment. Okay, so we decided to look at this period of time. So we offer, and I would like to, I am all the time a pessimist, and I said, don't do so many Xerox, because nobody is going to show up. So, sorry. So, okay. We decided to have a model and to looking and reveal the national identity within, which is embodied in ads through this model. And as you can see, we are talking about 4 layers that are intervening with each other. The first layer is the national one. Okay? The second one is geographical. But as we know that geography and land and territory is part of the national identity, especially in Israel. And then we are going to the economic sphere and the cultural sphere. So, as neo-Marxists, probably people will ask why it's not vice versa. Okay? So, because when we are talking about economic sphere, and then we are talking about national sphere. But our main interest is to look at the national sphere, so we put it like this. Okay? And each of these spheres contains several variables. Okay? National leaders, territory, language, and flag. I'm not going to elaborate a lot about the role of a flag to national identity, nor about language. Language is everything. And of course, territory, especially in the case of Israel. What is the most problematic things in Israel? That we don't have borders. which is going to this geographical sphere, which contain borders and contain namings which related to language. And I will demonstrate it later. Cities, Tel Aviv, New York, okay, London, all this globalization phenomena about cities, sites and views, and real estate. And then we are going to the economic sphere, which also we are talking about currency, which also going back to national identity, because using shekel, now everybody talking about the shekel. You know what shekel is? Shekel is our dollar. And it's much stronger now that is your dollar, even though we like dollars in Israel. So, so it's about currency, consumption, labor, technology. And of course, we are talking about the last one. We are talking about cultural, lifestyle, heroism, and holidays. And each of them is a mixture, and we are trying to see how they are presented in advertisement. Here we are talking about language that is going across all these layers on one hand, and on the other hand, we are talking about flag, because flag is the most fundamental symbol that we can portray a country, a city. Everybody has its own symbol, and national identity is first of all the flag. So what was the method? The method was qualitative and quantitative analysis of some 1,500 ads during 15 years. And here it is. Okay. National sphere, we are talking about language. These are all from newspaper in Israel. The most prominent newspaper in Israel, which 70% of the population is reading it. Okay, so it's not just a small portion of ads and a small in a very small newspaper. Okay, we can see here the variation of the use of language, which it's very creative. Writing English in Hebrew, Hebrew in English, and here it's building. Here it's written in Hebrew, the word building. Okay, so the use of the words in the use of an English word, but use it in Hebrew letters. Of course, as we can see, there is also a very creative way to look at the colors of this three-color, red, white, and blue. It's all over these newspapers. Okay. This is another example, which is written in English. Okay. As you know, we are writing Hebrew from right to left, and not from left to right. First of all. Second, not everybody knows. Not everybody in Israel knows English. Even a lot are coming to the state. So to use this one is to assume that everybody in Israel is familiar with English and can read it. Okay? So this is another way of looking at the language. This is, of course, without any reference at all in Hebrew, only English texts. Okay, you can say, well, it's Coca-Cola and it's Diet Coca-Cola, but this one, nobody knows the slogan in English in Israel.
But the website is Israeli. It's COIL.
Yes, yes, and the website, it's an Israeli website. So it's even this site is using English languages. And this I like the most. Why? As I told you, we are writing it from here to here. So it's called beauty-free, as you can see. And you know what's beauty-free is? It's like sugar-free, coffee-free. Everything is free. So if you want to be very, very ugly and to give all your beauty away, just go and buy some. This one, and you can see that ahava, for example. Ahava, it's a word in Hebrew. It's love. Okay? So if you want to be very pretty, because it's only for women, of course, even though we are in the metrosexual time and men are using also beauty products. Caroline, Ahava, they are all Hebrew products which label themselves in English letters. So here it is, beauty-free. You have 50% off something, and all these you can buy and to be without any beauty. Wow, look at this one. The flag. Okay, we talked about language on one hand. We are now talking about the flag. Okay, how creative can this person be to talk about America? So I have to say, this is an ad for gourmet food. I don't want to insult everybody in the room who praise the American food, okay? But in Israel and in Europe, American food is not the best gourmet, okay? To say the least. I'm so sorry to say, okay? Yet, and here, all these restaurants that are going to present in this festival are Chinese restaurants, gourmet Italian food, French restaurants. Okay? But they use this one in order to attract us. So what I'm trying to say that the American culture is rooted so deeply in the Israeli culture that even if we are talking about good food, this is the logo that they did. Okay. We are talking about national identity and the national sphere. We have to say that there are very, very important and nice and good relationship between America and Israel, and Israel gets every year help from America, a huge amount of money to its security budget. So here it is, the American flag with this big hand, okay, power hand, and here it's called Siua Amerikai, איך אני אגיד את זה באנגלית?
American aid.
American aid. But it's not aid, it's aid, it's a financial aid for our everyday life struggle in the conflict, okay? So politics is also within this layer. This is the national, we are talking about national sphere. So you can see that the flag, the American flag, is portrayed with a lot of ways, and this is another one, okay? As I know, this is a Japanese, okay? Okay, it's a Japanese one, Korean. And all these, this is the American flags, but here are all, it's Suzuki, Nissan, Volkswagen, Mitsubishi, Ford, Subaru, Chrysler, one American, GM, Honda, Hyundai, Toyota. Okay, so it's even not about American cars. Okay, it's all about other manufactured, and that's what I'm saying. And if you are looking at the model, you can see that we are talking about we are talking about, when we are talking about the economic sphere, we are talking about labor and production, and it's amazing to see how it's all getting together. I'm looking here for the flag, but it's also symbolized where it is produced. Okay. I know that it's not the time to talk about the real estate in America, yet this is a bank, okay, for mortgages. And here is an American symbol. I don't know who is he. Something between what and what, Lincoln and what, I don't know. And it says, from today, we are selling and buying apartments like in America. Okay, good luck, yes. Okay, so we can see this, how it's rooted in each of our everyday consumerism and everyday life. Okay, we are going to the American political leaders. I have to say that Bill Clinton is the most important person in Israel and one of the most beloved ones in Israel. And when we did the research, there was a pub in Tel Aviv that it was during the election of 2000 in Israel. And he promoted Bill Clinton to be our president. And we have a lot of T-shirts. We want Clinton as president, and so on and so forth. But as you can see, he is, and afterwards, for a while, Bush was also one of the most important characters as a political leader. So it was very easy when trouble time in Israel, in the political sphere in Israel, it was very easy to vote for Clinton, even though I have to say that they can choose Tony Blair. He's also a young-looking person who was very, very attractive. But Clinton was instead of our political leader. And here it's what he's saying. The only problem is of cars. that the others are not Americans. Okay, so he is, so when we are talking about political leaders, we can see a lot of Clinton and Bush, and not, for example, Benjamin Netanyahu. He has only one, actually. One, and it was out of the boards because they portray him as somebody who is not telling the truth. So, okay, geographical sphere. Naming, okay. Valley, it's a very, very common name for places in Israel, but it's in English. And we don't have a lot of valleys in Israel, as those who are staying there, of course, not in Netanya or in Tel Aviv, there are not a lot of valleys. So valleys of Nes Ziona and Migdalei Shalom, which is not the original. But look the use of the words in English, okay? And the naming that they are there. Okay. This is not a scene or a view of the Israeli scenery, geographical scenery. Okay? The new Jimmy. Landscape and sites. Okay? This is not the landscape of Israel. I think so. You know this landscape? Not at all. Okay, so something about one of the canyons in America? I don't know. And since we are not having borders, so America and Israel are blurring, are melting together. And I will show you it's from Israel and America and places afterwards. So here it is, America Israel, America and Israel. Okay? So America is part of Israel. And as we talked before, Israel all the time wants to be the 51st country in America. So here it is. Since we are selling something in Israel, we are talking about America in Israel. America in Jerusalem. New York in Jerusalem. Okay? And if nobody is able to see it, we have here Big Sail, Big Apple, of course, and this the Liberty, the Statue of Liberty. And one of the most hilarious thing is Florida in Jerusalem. If somebody saw Jerusalem, Jerusalem is not around sea. Okay, there is no sea around Jerusalem. So here's Jerusalem. This is the symbol, one of the symbols of Jerusalem, and here are the Sea of Florida and its dolphins around Jerusalem. So we don't have borders. And we want to sell something that will attract people, so we are selling Florida. And this is it, the most, it's like America in Carmiel, it's like
New York in Carbondale.
New York in Carbondale, yes, something like this. I didn't want to say anything to insult the people here, but you said, okay? So it's, yeah, it's like something like this. So it's amazing how, you know, the feeling towards America is blurred with this allocation of the Israeli society. Cities. Okay, Tel Aviv is New York and New York is Tel Aviv. Don't even hesitate to come to Tel Aviv because it's like New York exactly. So if you want to be in style, and I'm not going into the theoretical framework of cities in globalization era, okay? But to live in the in a hip style, in a New York hip style, in Israel, you have to live in Tel Aviv. Okay? So it's very, very easy to do it, you know, very, very, it's not vulgar, it's very tasty, it's very small, it's only this small flag, city tower residence. You have to know that the most prestigious the real estate is, we can find much more letters and words in English. If we are talking about low income population, then it's going to be in Hebrew and with some English words which are written in Hebrew. But when you are very, very rich, you know English, you have been in New York, in London, so we are speaking to you only with English slogans. And this is one that, if we are talking politics, this is something that is very, very interesting because Jerusalem is something that it's not for sale. Politically, we are not selling Jerusalem. We are not giving it up. Yet, during the 90s, while we are talking about peace process, somebody can do this slogan because even Jerusalem was part of this negotiation. Because I don't think that nowadays, or 20 years ago, or nowadays, it's going to be part of our frame of mind. This is amazing because those who study the Zionist history knows this name of this person, Echad Ha'am. Echad Ha'am is one of our founders who thought about Israel and the state of Israel as the most important cultural center of the Jewish people. He visioned Israel as the center of the Hebrew and Jewish culture. And here it is erased, and we are talking about Wall Street. Because if we are negotiated only this, I can talk about every ads for a long time, but I don't have the time. I just want to give you some ideas. But this is exactly what is to negotiate national identity. What kind of identity we want? What is Israel? Is it part of Wall Street, or it is part of the Jewish culture universe? Okay. It's amazing to see that all the Chinese, but you know, everything is done now in Chinese, okay? But as you all know, Chinese commercial products do not have what? A very reliable or good reputation in the Israeli atmosphere. I don't know how it is in America. So everything that is made in China is covered by American flag, okay? Golden line, it's made in China, okay? This is a, I don't know if you know, but this is electric plate for Shabbat that you are not, that you put all your things to warm it up, okay? This is the challah. It's symbolized Shabbat in Judaism. And this is, of course, something that we are done like this. So everything that's made in China is labeled with American flavor. Everything that is made in Israel is also the same. For example, chips, American chips, okay? Chips is not American, and of course. French fries, they are writing it, you know, and it's made in Israel because it's made by one of the big grocery shops in Israel. So it's even things that are done in Israel are promoted as American, things that are done in China are promoted as American. And I just want to say that I have to ask myself, and we are asking ourselves now because we are talking about globalization, and globalization is about economy. And now the American economy is in a very bad shape. So what is going to be with this all national identity? So on one hand, I can say that America is still part of the is still part of the Israeli narratives and advertisement. Yet, I think that we are talking now we are looking for a new way to look about globalization. And this is what I'm bringing it to globalization and national identity, that if we are looking at this model, we can see that we are talking about how capitalism tried to overcome bad times of bad times and problems in economy. And if we are talking about the flag and the language, now the language is still English, but it's not connected only with Americanization, but with globalization. Because now English is the language of globalization. And on the other hand, we can see that instead of red, which leave us with blue and white, which is also the Israeli flag, mind you. So we, instead of putting the red, that's the blend of Israeli flag and the American flag, we are putting now the green flag, and you can see it all over the, and we can see that we can change a lot of these variables, and I'm just saying only few of them. We talk about, instead of lifestyle, we are talking about health. Instead of territory, we are talking about environment. And instead of technology, we are talking about ecology. So to sum it up, it's still globalization, it's still capitalism, but it shifts from purely Americanization into something more fashionable that it is now the green fashion. So thank you very much.